Dungeon Universalis Open World is a new edition of Dun. This huge dungeon crawler returns in a new and definitive edition. Now with quick setup, shorter and optimized rules, no crunchy rules, easier to store, more options, possibilities, and customizations for 1 to 6 players. Designed exclusively for solo and co-op, compatible with previously published material. Dun levels up. Did I do my intro yet? Welcome home, brave heroes. I'm Ash, this is AshQuest, and today we are visiting, in this month of March, all of the crowdfund campaigns across the worthy crowdfund platforms that I consider worthy of following. There are many more than just what I'm aware of, so if you have your own, you can drop your suggestions in the comments below. Do realize that I do have links nuked, so you won't be able to link anything, but you can just drop the name and people will find it on their own. Dungeon Universalis is something that I completely missed out on during its first edition and everything up till this point, so I'm excited to see that it is going to get this revisit with this new edition. I really love to see the phrase less crunchy rules. The only thing that could turn me completely and totally off from even considering trying this, sadly, is if I find out that any of this is AI art. And it's questionable at best. So that's something I would actually like to ask the developers of this game. Is your art AI generated in any way, shape, or form? But since that's up in the air, and since we are visiting the campaign to get information, here is Dungeon Universalis Open World, which I kind of equate to be like the Elden Ring of the Dark Souls franchise that is Dungeon Universalis. Anytime that you can take this confined, narrow path and say, all right, this works, we're going to make it open world now because we have figured out that formula. That is a milestone and a very good achievement that's worthy of celebration. The index for this update, facts about the new edition of Dungeon Universalis Open World, infographic about the future of Dungeon Universalis, and extra info for those who have time to read more explanations. We're going to skim over a lot of this, but I'm going to put links to absolutely everything that I cover today down in the description below, so you can check these out. Also, I'm recording this several days in advance of when it will go up, so some of these are going to be a little closer to the edge of either getting funded or reaching the end of their phase. I'll let you know as we visit each one. Dungeon Universalis isn't even ready yet, but you can follow its progress right now. Oh my god, this is an infographic on the future of Dungeon Universalis. It continues with a new edition fully optimized for solo co-op mode to be released in 2027. Do you want to take the Dun open world path? You decide on the system. Many of the expansions and extras are common to both. So to follow this flow chart, we need to go to the game Dungeon Universalis. We can go to first edition or we can go with this open world. So let's go ahead and follow a potential flowchart. If you have the first edition, 1.1, 1.2, or 1.3, no matter what you're playing, solo, co-op, competitive, let's follow this. If you have this, which has the published material of encounters, new challenges, dials, playmats, coins, standees, then you can print on demand and PDF through Amazon and DriveThruRPG, and you can combine that with your own miniatures, tokens, or standees to represent the entire bestiary of these games. And if that's not enough for you, then get the Ark of the Bestiary, which is bestiary token sets and storage boxes. Somebody out there's going to be like, don't you mean bestiary? I don't care enough to mean either of them, so we're moving on. An independent game within the world of Araska is Rivals or Showdown or Battle Universalis. These don't really continue on any specific path. It's just a way that you can enjoy the game now. Now, if you go into Dungeon Universalis Open World Solo and Co-op with the standard printing starting in 2027, you will be able to actually use this in conjunction with your first edition because it's totally backwards compatible and it follows that exact same set of paths. But the contents in the core box has the rule book, travel phase book, player's book, basic bestiary book, campaign book, 1 sheet of tokens, 200 poker cards approximately, and 370 mini Euro cards approximately. Only 1 sheet of tokens. So I have to forgive it for the sheer amount of cards because tokens is my least favorite part of any game. Token management sucks. Core box, it's a game system that lets you play with whatever you like, tiles and miniatures not included. You use your own miniatures, tokens, or standees to represent the entire bestiary of these games. And if you don't have enough, then the Ark of the Bestiary token set with storage box is available. Or you can get the STL miniature set Heroes of Dungeon Universalis 2. And you can also get the original STL miniature set, Heroes of Dungeon Universalis. You can use your own 2D tiles or 3D scenery, and if you don't have tiles or furniture, you can get it in PDF, which is the tile set 1, 2, or 3, or they have created a huge free list of miniatures from other brands that you can buy or print on your 3D printer to represent all the creatures, elements, and furniture in the game. That's it. That's the entirety of this whole flowchart. But if the contents of either of these base games isn't enough, then we'll go to this huge section that I completely missed, that I just realized I missed after saying that that was the entirety of the flowchart, when in fact it was not. You can get the Faction Bestiary book, Independent Creature Bestiary book, the Atlas of the World of Araska, the Campaign and Quest books, the next Campaign and Quest books, Uncanny Palaces format, the Quest books, Tributes to the Classics, Book of Magical Objects and Relics, the Grimoire of Spells, the Book of Races and Classes, the Book of the Infinite Dungeon Engine. That's a lot of stuff. It's all going to be, here's the texts, print it yourself. And I would venture to guess that the second edition box is just going to be a very, very heavy box, absolutely full of these printed texts. And of course, the 200 poker cards and 370 mini Euro cards. The minis really don't bother me all that much, but it's going to be supply your own furniture, supply your own miniatures. That's not a bad thing, because at this point you probably have so much. But if you would like to keep all of your game system stuff boxed and you don't have a ton of Reaper miniatures to represent homebrew monsters and the like, even if you do have a ton of that stuff, this is going to have a book full of monsters that likely you're going to have a few gaps in your library to cover absolutely everything. So it's kind of, I don't know if I love that. I guess I would need to see a lot more, and I would like to hear the stories of people who backed the first Dungeon Universalis, because I imagine it really played out the exact same way. The campaign books already published will remain, but as stock runs out, they'll probably only be printed on print on demand. Future campaign books will have the same format as the last published book, Uncanny Palaces. You explore the pages as you explore the map in a more immersive way. The official tiles will continue to be used, but in epic events and some small missions, you can decide to play on the tiles or the ring-bound book. I like that. I like that a lot. So you can play on the ring-bound book. This does posit itself as a dungeon crawler, so I'm really curious to see kind of how it's formatted, because I have not seen anything to do with this, because the one time that I searched for Dungeon Universalis and saw that Universalis, I don't know, and saw that it was basically a done deal, like I'd have to get it secondhand, I put it off because I said that's a huge investment I don't have the time or money or energy for right now. That took a lot of self-editing and self-control, but I was able to do it. This isn't an expansion or a new edition like 2.0 of Dungeon Universalis. Open world is its own thing that is compatible with everything released up to this point, but you can play this by itself. It will tell you what you need to play it. It will provide to you the holy texts and the quests and the tokens and cards. This could be the ultimate crawler depending on what you already have. Here's some examples of exactly what you can look forward to seeing. Dungeon Universalis competitive solo co-op cards have this anatomy, this design on the left. The new edition looks like this on the right. I personally like the old one a little bit better, but I like both of these a lot. I love this layout. There are so many numbers, so many icons. This has the potential to be very complex. It would be very cool if a lot of this stuff was optional or used in an advanced edition of the rules, something like the roleplay rulebook system. But I think that's going to be enough looking at this one for now. Let's move on to the next one. If you're excited for this one, though, let me know in the comments below. StarCraft, the tabletop miniatures game, is up for pre-order. The campaign to crowdfund for it is done. You can actually pre-order this now, though. You don't have to have been a backer to do so. This is from Archon Studio. I have no idea anything about Archon Studio. The miniatures game brings the iconic RTS experience to the tabletop with innovative mechanics built for fast tactical play. If you've ever been a victim of a Zerg rush, then that just means you weren't a good enough player to mitigate the Zerg rush. Drinking my coffee. If you have no idea what that means or what this is or why it is here in front of you now on this channel, StarCraft is a game that came out for PC like in the late 90s. It was made by Blizzard, the world famous creators of world famous Warcraft, and of course World of Warcraft. And it's really cool to see a miniatures game. I think that this is the perfect format for a physical representation of StarCraft. So why pre-order now? Because there's going to be limited availability. The Founders Edition starter sets are produced exclusively during this pre-order window. They won't be made again. It's made to order stuff, man. Priority delivery, lower shipping costs. I believe it. That stuff is common with these crowdfund projects. It's really cool that they're allowing you to pre-order this, and this is a separate process than the crowdfund part. But I imagine there's been a lot of people who helped crowdfund this, and did it maybe skip crowd? Like, was there even a crowdfund? Maybe there wasn't a crowdfund. I don't know. I just assumed that I came into this a little bit too late to know about a crowdfund portion, but I see that it's pre-order, and I know that it's possible to do the crowdfund first and then create the pre-order, because now you have the funds to make the extra stuff that can be available at retail. But this is not everything here is going to be available at retail. These regular kits might be, but these boxes offered in the limited Founders Edition are going to be produced in one limited printing run and will never be made again. I hope that they mean that. I mean, I wish that they didn't say it at all, but I hope that they mean it. I'm sure that they do. This is the first official StarCraft release in years, probably decades. A long-awaited return of the franchise, this time to your tabletop, made by true fans. And I believe that. For no other reason than it was very accessible and very easy to get into StarCraft way back in the day. I can hear the music right now, and I want to admit, I didn't play StarCraft. I played a couple of times with my brother. My brother was the StarCraft person. He played that nonstop. He was very good at it. I tried to play a few times, but my brain did not comprehend RTS in the slightest, and I tried several of them. I was even worse at Warcraft for some reason, and I actually wasn't too bad at Command & Conquer, Red Alert for the PlayStation. I don't know why. We have Terrans here represented. We've got Jim Raynor. I recognize that name. We've got Marines, Medics, Marauders. We've got the Goliath. We've got Zergs. We've got Kerrigan. Oh, I remember Kerrigan. We have Queen, Zerglings, Roaches, Roachlings, the Hydralisk, the Omega Worm. We've got the Protoss. These are like the Tau, basically. Right, the Artanis, Adept, Zealot, Sentry, Force Field, Stalkers. We've got the Pylon. I remember the Pylons. The gameplay overview, basically alternating activations. Instead of one player moving their entire army, players take turns activating one unit at a time until all eligible units have acted. You have a dynamic supply system. You've got this miniature who's like blurred out as he's rushing to be placed on the table. They don't start on the table. All units begin in reserves and must be deployed using the gameplay it doesn't say using anywhere. All units begin in reserves and must be deployed onto the battlefield during the game based on the player's available supply pool. There we go. I knew that you couldn't wait to tune in today and hear me just absolutely stumble over entire sentences. The surge mechanic, that's awesome. So you could absolutely emulate the Zerg rush, the swarm, strategic passing, objective control by the supply, draft system, dual resource economy, and there's a lot of add-ons. There are a lot of price points here. Some of these are absolutely prohibitive depending on the type of fan you are and your interest level. The StarCraft Army Bundle, a 3-player all-in, is $669 USD. The Founders Edition Collector is $439, but the Founders Edition Protoss is $239. Founders Edition Zerg and Terran is $459. And then the Founders Edition starter sets are $289. So it kind of seems like if you wanted everything up here, but you didn't want the bells and whistles, you'd go for the Founders Edition Collector for $439. I don't know. This looks like it comes with more, right? But it says Founders Edition Zerg and Terran and Protoss are separate. I guess these two together make the 3-player all-in. Man. Now, I don't know anything about this other than what I've read to you, so I'm not trying to misrepresent anything or give you any bad information. Go to the link in the description below and read it for yourself. It seems to me like the all-in basically gives you the Zerg, the Terran, and the Protoss, and it doesn't look like there's any better way to get those than to combine that into this all-in right here. Unless you get starters of each of those 3 factions with one of these other versions. But I don't know. I probably won't be backing this because I wasn't the StarCraft mega fan, but it is really cool to see and nostalgic to me nonetheless. On to the next one. This is LOWLIFE, a Dungeon Degenerates TTRPG. We won't spend too much time on this one. There's not a lot of info anyway because the Kickstarter hasn't happened yet. It's coming soon. But this is basically the TTRPG version of Dungeon Degenerates. I don't have Dungeon Degenerates, but I really want it because I happen to love the art style. I love their usage of colors and the sketchy, grimy, dirty, almost like Ed Roth, like the artist for Rat Fink. It just looks like the brothers Grunt. It's very reminiscent of like 90s MTV art style. The Max. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? I'm the max. Please tell me you know what I'm talking about. The dungeon crawler of this is called Hand of Doom. That's the base game. People have been asking for a Dungeon Degenerates TTRPG since we published Hand of Doom 10 years ago. I didn't know it was 10 freaking years ago. LOWLIFE allows you to dig deep into the degeneracy and thoroughly explore all those little suggestions of story that the board game only mentions in passing. It's not just a game, it's a world that breathes, stinks, and fights back. The mechanics feel like the skeleton for a much larger, more chaotic narrative experience. Make sure to share this page far and wide so we can make the Kickstarter a smash. I hope you can. I really hope that this Kickstarter is a smash because I know a couple of people who have played Dungeons Degenerates and they really, really like it. If this sort of style and this setting isn't necessarily for you, I would still give it a chance. It's definitely the sort of mutant apocalypse version of a setting for a dungeon crawler, but it is very irreverent. And the expansions are very, very accessible because they're basically just like little, I think they're booster packs. I could be wrong on that. I think you get entire expansions in very tiny packages. Stake your claim in the sludge. This setup here, this person, this is all way too clean to play a game of Dungeon Degenerates. Goblin Co., if I can be of any service, please reach out. Like I said, I don't have DD yet. It is on my list of things to get. We're going to change the tone a little bit. I just saw this while browsing and I wanted to click on it. It is Stitchery Faire, a cozy solo journaling and sketching game. Tell your story one stitch at a time as you meet patrons, create garments, and find your place in the community of Threadwiki. Threadwick. This looks super cozy. It really seems like a nice time if you just want to kind of unwind and get into something a lot more low stakes. There's an A5 sized book at 72 plus pages, full color, soft or hardcover. It is low stakes, cozy historical and fantasy setting. You can play this solo with optional shared play suggestions. The play style is journaling, sketching, dice or card based prompts, and it takes 10 in-game weeks played at your own pace. Now, if this seems like a completely different format of gameplay, it's one that's pretty prevalent. There are probably a lot of accessible examples of this over on itch.io. A lot of print and play solo journaling RPGs. This is really only going to appeal to somebody who kind of wants to explore their creativity through this as an exercise. But I'm sure that it actually tells a charming story as well that's crafted. The creator of this, Amanda Kastner, it looks like she's created 16 such projects on this platform. So I have every faith that this is refined to quite a degree. As far as journaling RPGs for me go, I have played My Date with a Goblin Girl many times with a deck of cards. And I really like the format because I just like kind of writing stuff about OCs to begin with. So this would be a lot of fun to take one of my OCs in and have them assume the role of a weaver, a tailor. I'm not against this idea at all. If you enjoy role-playing games with writing, journaling, and creative reflection, sketching, drawing, and visual storytelling, low-stakes, community-centered stories, cozy historical or fantasy settings, a beautiful, tangible record of play, then Stitchery Faire is for you. This is a screenshot right here. Whoops. I zoomed in, but yeah, here we go. Reveal your patrons' opinions. You have all of these tables you can roll on while you are creating, and it looks like that's about halfway through the book. We're going to go back to 100% so I could make it easier on my video editing self. Absolutely borked up my format here. Game setup. Gather supplies. You're going to need the book, something to write with, a journal, and a standard deck of cards, and 1 or 2 six-sided dice. Create your character. You are a dressmaker or tailor with 3 talents, draw and roll, to establish your background, motivation, optional sleight, enchantment, and starting tools and booth at the fair. Phase 1 is the connection, hear rumors and choose your patron for the week. Draw a story card, roll for weather rumor. Draw 3 patron cards, return 1 to the deck, discard 1, choose 1, and consult the table for their name, calling, and description. Got a little bit of a Doom Pilgrim vibe to that. It's not at all in the slightest similar, but the mechanic is identical. I like that mechanic very much, actually. Check your charm and grace, 1d6 against the patron's rank. If it's equal or higher, you find favor with the patron. This is a one-shot deal, man. We're just trucking on through, gaffs and all. Hi, I'm Ash, and this is me at my rawest. Journal and sketch your thoughts about your new patron and your hopes and plans for the coming week. I love this. I love everything about this. It's so nice. Just zero problems with this whatsoever. Check your artistry plus grace 1d6 against the patron's rank. Journal and sketch your design ideas or create an inspiration board incorporating the patron's opinions guided by optional prompts. Then there's completion. You finish the garment and deliver it to your patron. Roll to discover if the garment fulfills the patron's core wish. Your garment could find favor with the patron. There is a community aspect in the next phase, and then there is rewards. Oh, these are the rewards for the these are the rewards for the backing. Hold on. But this can be played solo or alongside friends. It combines writing and drawing. It works in short or long sessions. It has no combat, no complex math, no heavy prep. It has no failed endings, only different paths. And it creates a lasting physical record of your story thanks to the journaling aspect. Rewards have a digital edition, a Stitchery Faire print edition, the Faire card deck so that you have all of your cards nice and themed and ready with the prompts and so on printed on them. I really like that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna follow this project. I'm not logged in. I'm gonna keep this open and log in, I'll follow it. I legitimately think I'm going to have to pledge to this. It only had an $800 goal and it's exceeded that, so it is still ready. It ends March 19th. This video may or may not be up by, I'm gonna try to get this video up before the 19th. 9 p.m. March 19th CDT. Oh, that's easy. That's easy. We're gonna let people know. It's gonna be last minute, but we're gonna let people know. Amanda Kastner, let me know if I can help with this in any way. Signal boost this or anything beyond what I've done now. I didn't go over the tiers. The complete Faire digital plus all print on demand is $30. It's super reasonable for a game like this when we have 10 games over on the Game Crafter going for about the same price or more. Love that for you. Fool's Fuel. This is the next one. What is this? This reminded me of Dungeon Degenerates a little bit. I know. It's this picture in particular. This is from Slavdom Studio, which is an awesome name. A complete printable game with unique miniatures. I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably not gonna do this, but it made me raise eyebrows, so I wanted to go over it just in case anybody out there was excited by this idea. Race and fight for objectives, choose your crew and customize your magical fleet, upgrade your vehicles and drivers, explore the area. You need 2 crews, a rule book, and accessories. Your 2-player starter, PDF plus 2 crews STL files to start getting people assembled and going. And let me tell you, the STL wave of the future is it's not sitting well with me. I don't want to have to print everything on my own. I don't like that at all, but it's just one tier. It's the all-in book plus all crews STL for 75 euros. If the book is a PDF, then no, there's physical stretch goals. We'll see what those are. Oh yeah, the all-in pledges. You're gonna get the PDF plus all crews STL and the book plus all crews STL. That's for the all-in. And book is defined separately from PDF, so that's actually the starter pledge as well. So yeah, there's a physical book, but then the rest of it's STLs. But anyway, there's 27 days left on this one, so plenty of time to back it, and it looks like it hasn't reached its funding goal as of the time of this video. It might have blown past it by the time that this video goes live. You've got the Green Folk, you've got the Nightly Horde, you've got the Sorcery Coterie, you've got a video on here as well that explains how to play it. And a nice little presentation by whom I assume is the creator. Yeah, that's Slavdom Studio, so check that out, please. 2 campaign modes to keep you engaged for months. The Chop Shop and the Crooked Route. The Chop Shop is the more flexible one. You'll build your workshop up from a measly single car to a stable full of upgraded mechanical destriers. And the Crooked Route is a narrative campaign, best experienced solo or as a co-op adventure. You know, the more I read about this, the more interesting it really seems. I didn't even know it was that in-depth. The speed test determine the order for the turn fastest wheels go first. Road rage, ram slam and disturb other vehicles. Use upgrades to go ahead, damage your rivals, or repair your wheels. Rush, risky maneuvering has consequences. Now is the time to face them, and that's how to play, kind of in a nutshell. The rules are free. You can get the entire rules and a portal miniature. Oh, this thing was painted so lovely. I love this art style very much. It's not for everybody and it's not for everything, but man, in a vacuum, this looks great, and in certain genres, this is perfect. Apparently, there's another game called Gaslands, and this is different from that for many reasons explained here. Perhaps Gaslands was a previous project from this creator, perhaps another creator. I don't want to get things conflated if that's the case. But it contains rules for 16 vehicles used by the 4 crews, as well as guidelines for mutating your own cars touched by magic. That's pretty much the gist of this whole thing. I don't want to spend too much time on this, so I encourage people to check out the link in the description below. No AI art, just this human. Well, guess what, human? You are freaking awesome. And this is part of the Slavborg universe, which is amazing. A world inspired by the Central European experience at the turn of the new millennium with a dark fantasy twist. Yes, I have all the respect and admiration for this person that can be had. No AI art, just Slav. Just Slav. That's all you need. Moving on to the next one. Residue is a solo survival TTRPG. I love solo stuff. TTRPG, I don't really get into TTRPGs, but if they're solo, that's another story. This is a sci-fi horror game where you use dice to traverse shifting landscapes, manage resources, and scavenge grotesque ruins. This can be backed now. The campaign ends March 25th. There should be plenty of time by the time this video goes up to back this project. This is from Weird Place. It's just two humans helping you enjoy and explore all things analog gaming. The screenshots of this look intriguing enough for me to scroll, and that's really all I saw when I decided to add this to the video and check this out. You're playing as a solitary explorer in a complete self-contained game of dice-driven hex crawling, resource management, combat, and exploration through impossible architecture, radiation-scarred zones, and organic machine-infested ruins, searching for relics from long-forgotten civilizations. The first and last thing you hear every day is the hum, a constant signal pulling you deeper into the world. It's just like my voice. The terrain is abnormal. Distances fold in on themselves, structures rise where there should be nothing, corridors stretch beyond sight. That's just like this channel. Travel is not a choice. It is the only way to remain through radiation, corrosion, and machine growth. Brutalist rot into organic form. It's just like this video. Fragments of who we were lie scattered through the ruins, trapped in courts and buried in broken sites. You must find them. Meaning is what can still be carried forward before the corruption takes hold. And I'm not sure who to analog that to. Nilbog? The deluxe box set comes with all you can barely see here. The Game Systems Handbook, the Sector Book 01, Fractured Pillars, which is our quest book. There are 6 fingers on this hand, but I'm 100% certain that is by design. Here is the hex map. It's barren. We have a singular place here. We have 8 spaces filled in at the extreme edges and corners. We have a complete list of everything here. Why is this so tiny? I'm already 100% zoom. Deluxe box set, softcover Game Systems Handbook, 12 by 16 hex map, corruption cards, items cards, corrupted items cards, character card, condition card, character and resource board, 1 hum token, 1 raiders token, 6 creature tokens, 2 vendor tokens, 4 NPC tokens, 2 anomalies tokens, 3 portals. This is an environment setting that I can only describe as could be any point in time, it seems. It could be old, it could be futuristic. This could be very SCP adjacent. This could be Lovecraftian, metabolic eternal. There is a gameplay video if you want to watch one day of survival in Residue. The video goes through a full day in the twisted landscapes of the game to show how the story unfolds, including prompts from the sector book, the dice mechanics, and moments of combat. Here are examples of the cards like Hematic Corrosion, Silicate Myogenesis, Aural Nerve. These really look super interesting to me. I know that this is a very abstract and strange setting, and everything that's contained within this is abstract and strange. Oh, and here's a character. You can choose between 3 different characters with different starting skills, HP, strain, threshold, gear, luck, and battery. This is Hanta, the rogue alchemist. I can barely read that, but I suppose it's for the best. It looks like it is actual human art on the cards. I think if that was not the case, they would have made different choices. There is a compass die. You will roll that to learn where the hum is coming from, then roll a d8 to learn how far away it is, and that result sets your destination, one of 8 possible ruins. I really like that idea also. The hex map is erasable, which infers that we're going to be drawing/writing on it. There are 19 cardboard tokens. This actually looks really cool. The physical edition of this we've got a zine edition, which is the soft cover. That's 49 Canadian dollars. Our hardcover edition is 69 Canadian dollars, and our deluxe box set is 109. You've got a collector's upgrade that will upgrade some of the components, and something called the Endless Edition for 179 Canadian. It's about $130 USD currently, according to the page. And that's about all the time I think I can spend on this one. But I did want to give this one some spotlight because it looks really interesting and really cool, and the solo TTRPG does resonate very much with me. The last thing I wanted to show you was the first thing that I had in mind when I made this video, and you are able to back this project now. It did successfully fund already, but you can late pledge for available rewards. They're fantasy stamps that you can use to create maps for RPGs. I see this all over Instagram. Every other ad is this. The box opens up, the person takes out a stamp, and then they make this entire dungeon crawler, which is very similar to what you see here. D&D Unplugged is what they're saying, but you can use this for basically whatever. Meet the stamps. The Both sets include the same 27 stamps, and the stamps included are as follows: dungeon tile, cracked tile, very cracked tile, blank tile, cobblestone, stair, straight, stair curved, crate, barrel, rope, bridge, brazier, chest. It's so close to brazier. Pillar, well, campfire, door, top down, exterior wall, prison bars, fire, water, interior wall, tomb, bed, altar, door, 3D. These are examples of sheets that were created using this stamp set. These are very Axebane, very Watabo looking maps. What I mean by that is they look a lot like the Axebane's dungeon maps. They look a lot like the digital maps that you can create using Watabo's generation system. They look a lot like maps that you can create if you download a variety of tools off of itch.io, but you can do these on the fly, physically, on paper, immediately with stamps and a pad of ink. Gone are the days of needing hours, if not days, to prepare for a D&D sesh. Does anybody prepare for a D&D sesh hours or days in advance anymore? You gotta tell me if this really looks like a cool thing that you would use. It looks like you're gonna need some really big paper, but if you live anywhere near Staples or any other stationery store, this should not be an issue to have. And then you can just roll these up if you so desire. Put them in a giant leafed book of some kind and you'll have them. Or you can just use regular paper, which would be a lot easier to source and then store into a reasonably sized journal. You could use a spiral bound notebook that you could open up, and you could have the journeys take place within the pages of that spiral or ring bound book, just like you would a Loki's map. That's a really cool and versatile idea. I like how they're saying this is gone. There's no more tech free, or no more tech. This is old school gaming. This is 5e fantasy RPG compatible. Yeah, this would HeroQuest depending on the size of these stamps. I'm sure that they're an inch though. Whether you're 8 or 80, and look at I'm putting Minecraft here on these. You might as well put Skibbity Toilet. Trying to appeal to the 8-year-olds. Minecraft is so yesterday. Turn anything, Amazon boxes, pizza boxes, shoe boxes, cereal boxes, have we mentioned boxes, into the foundation for your next adventure. Not stoked on your creation? Recycle it and start again. This company wants to expand after this has been done, but the pricing essentially is going to be $7 USD, 70. That's $2.80 per stamp for the starter set made of maple wood. If you're into the clear acrylic so that you can actually see exactly where you're stamping as you're putting the stamp down, that USD 95 price tag is what you're looking at. It comes to about $3.80 per stamp. Stamps are not super cheap anyway. If you go to Michael's or Joann's and you look at those stamp sets there, just for like things like various assorted leaves and flowers in small limited art styles, you're looking at prices kind of like this. They also have stamps at Dollar Tree that are kind of in the same vein, and of course those are super affordable. It's like $1.25 for a sheet of, I think they're acrylic stamps. I've seen lots of stamps in secondhand places that represent a variety of things that people might use if they're, I don't know why and how people use stamps in the crafting world. I'm not at that level yet. But more than once have I considered buying up a bunch of stamps and using them for artwork for things like my homemade cards. I prototype a lot of game ideas at home, and I might take an index card and run it through a knife or a paper chopper, words Ash, and I'll make cards out of index cards because they're not the size that I want them to be when I buy them. And then instead of having to write on the back like the word equipment or items, I could just stamp something down. If it's a picture of a potion bottle, that's going to tell me it's a consumable. And then on the other side, I can write whatever the effects of that are going to be. And that's just how I like to prototype things. But something like this would actually allow you to make the environment. And I dare say that $100 price tag is reasonable. I don't know if you agree or believe me, but I'm here to tell you that's a reasonable price tag for 27 stamps. You're going to be able to use them forever. The only alternative that I can think of that would be cheaper if you're really trying hard to save money is if you already have a 3D printer, you might be able to use, I think, TPM to make your own stamps. Somebody out there might have already tried this. Somebody out there has maybe already mastered this and can share their experience in the comments below. But if you want something polished, already made, and you like this aesthetic, and you don't want to go through the trouble of making these designs in a 3D program to even try, then these are here for you. They will work now. And that is the final thing that I wanted to present in this March edition of Crowdfunds and Kickstarters. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know that we spent a lot of time looking at stuff today, but I really feel like these 7 things were really cool, and I actually really want to get into Stitchery Faire. I think that's my favorite thing on here. I hate to be just a self-plugging shill, but tabletop stamps, if I can be of any service to you, feel free to reach out. Business email address is listed somewhere. Description, main page. I would love to possess some prototypes and try them out. I have an entire audience who would do very particular things with these, I am sure. They just need confirmation that they'll heroquest. I'm here to provide that confirmation. No, but seriously, if you are looking at a particular crowdfund and you want to share it with others down below, please do so and let me know what you're looking forward to the most out of this. And of course, anything that I do myself get invested into, I will show it off here on the channel once it has come to fruition and it is in my hands physically. Until then, brave heroes, I thank you very much. Tell them Ash sent you, and I'll see you in the next exciting adventure. Until then, thank you for your kind attention. Goodbye for now.